Welcome to the yesHEis podcast, where we talk about sharing your faith with confidence so that you can play your part in helping the world know Jesus.
Welcome to the yesHEis podcast. Whoa, that was weird.
Were we going to do it together?
No, we were not.
Did we not talk about that?
I feel offended.
Sorry. Okay, well, you go.
Welcome to the yesHEis podcast. I'm like a PTSD now. I don't want you to cut me off.
Yeah, no.
Oh my Lord, that was
It's
weird.
Fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine on the pod.
It was like weird stereo moment in my mind. I'm like, I'm hearing my voice back to me, but this is strange. Anyway, welcome to the yesHEis podcast. Glad that you could join us today. My name is Sam, and I have my apprentice to my left here,
Tim.
And we also have Molly, affectionately known as Guacamole in the office.
Affectionately.
That's right.
And Molly is joining us today and going to be here for the cheeky bants and
Excellent.
Should we do like
the wisdom drops.
Should we do should we point out that Molly's been on the podcast before for our new family who are listening?
It's true.
On the pod fam.
Yes.
Molly, this is not her first podcast by any means. You've been, how many times have you been on the pod?
I have been on the podcast twice, but this would be my fourth episode.
Yeah, Jesse's given me the number 4 like this.
The first episode went so long that we made 2. Yeah.
It's good to have you as always.
Yeah.
thank
And your
you.
accent, is that Western Australia?
Oh. Western Australia.
Yeah. Maybe
No,
Melbourne?
It's Canadian.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just playing.
sorry.
I knew. I was just playing.
Oh, did you know? Yeah, I
already
thought you
knew.
must have known.
I just wanted to give more context to everyone. Anyway, can I share a story?
Yes, go for it.
The other day, guess what? I was in another Uber.
No.
And yes, that's right. I was in another Uber. And
You've got to change your... No, it's good.
it's good.
It is good.
It's
Yes,
effective. I mean,
Yep.
it's great because, captive audience.
Captive audience.
But I was in an Uber and I was talking to the driver and I'm fairly certain I offended him at first
Great
because
way to start.
he has been in Australia most of his life, but I made an assumption about how long he's been in Australia based on his accent. It's a very strong accent from overseas in a European country. But we reconciled.
Molly's just looking awkward.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me, foreigner. But we reconciled, and we were just chatting about life, and he was talking about how he's like. I asked him questions about the kind of lifestyle that he wants to be able to create, and he says that he wants to be able to create some software that would allow him to just sort of relax a little bit more, and that is his. I asked about it, and he's like, "That's my key sort of drive, or the purpose that I'm searching for." Is to be able to have good work-life balance and to be able to just work a little bit, but then mostly just relax. And so asking questions about that, about what he wanted from work and life and all that sort of stuff, we were able to sort of get it to a deeper point in the conversation where he was talking about how he's part of the Greek Orthodox Church, I believe. And we sort of chatted about that a little bit more, and he found out that I'm a pastor. And so he sort of was surprised by that. He thought I'm quite young to be a pastor. And I'm like, what's a pastor supposed to look like? And he said, I think he used the word older and mature. And so,
Subtle burn from the Uber driver.
yeah, a little offended, but that's okay. But yeah, we talked about it. And then at the end of the Uber trip, I told him I should have prayed with him in the moment, but I told him I'd be praying for his online business that he's wanting to launch as the software. But it just got me thinking about the idea of everyday conversations, turning them into faith conversations. And the idea that basically the root, I guess, idea of it is that every person has needs in their heart, but, surface level conversations, there's always a way to connect them to those deeper needs in their heart. Because like when it comes down to it, everyone is searching for, love, success, meaning, all that sorts of stuff. Obviously, Jesus is the answer to those desires that people have: love, meaning, success, all that sort of stuff. And so our job is to try and connect Jesus to those things.
Right.
What do you think about that, Tim?
Yeah. Well, the way I've heard it before is that people are always teachable at their point of need.
Right.
So as an example, and actually Molly, you've helped me with some of these kinds of things, but it's like you're a runner and you love running, and I've heard about you running and I've been like, my knees like always, hurt when I'm running. But I want to run. So the thing I want, like this guy wanted peace. I want to run, but my need, like my problem is that my knees, my need is my knees.
Yeah.
Knee needs.
And, and that's where if like someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I know how to help you get more flexible or help you work on strength. Or it's like, I'll be like, I'm listening because, I'm teachable at my point of need.
Yes.
Right. Because that's the info that I'm
that
wanting
makes
to
sense.
hear.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's a great little like, to answer that question of like, how do you actually turn a conversation towards faith? It's a good stepping stone to that. Molly, I know you've had a whole bunch of opportunities over the last few months and year, even in having faith conversations. Do you see that playing out at all in those moments?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a story. I haven't shared this one with you guys yet, but...
Hey, thanks for listening to the yesHEis podcast. We hope it's really helpful for you as you try and figure out how to share Jesus in your everyday life. Hey, we would love you to like and subscribe to the podcast just so that you can get the latest updates. And if you can rate and review the podcast on the platform that you're listening to it, please do that because it just helps the algorithm to get our message out there. And it's not about the algorithm, but it's about us getting this message out there to encourage Christians all around the world. This is really long-winded, so if you're still with us, thank you for listening. And now back to the episode.
One of my old housemates, she is single and really wanted to start dating. And she was sharing with me about how like all the guys that she's been dating just suck. She's not a Christian. And she was like, I really want someone who values marriage, who values family, who has like good character and all these different things. And I'm like, girl, you gotta come to my church. I'm like, you're looking in all the wrong places. And she ended up coming to church with me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And she met a couple of people. She actually met you, Jesse.
And
she shared with me, she was surprised at how these guys that she met had this confidence that wasn't cockiness.
Yeah, right.
If I'm allowed to say that on the
Well
podcast.
done, Jesse.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even though he's so ridiculously good looking, he's...
But she was like,
So
wow,
funny.
that was like a really cool experience. She did go to church with me again another time. But yeah, that was a really cool.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was like, all these character traits that you're talking about, okay, not every Christian guy is perfect, obviously. But I'm like, these are the things that are instilled in like young men at churches, and it's values of faith. Like, obviously, I wasn't just, Jesus is Lord and Savior and the only God. I didn't preach the whole gospel to her in that moment, but I was able to have this in with her around that.
Sure. That's a super practical, I think, like super practical like expression of what we're talking about, where like she's got a need, and at that point of need, you're like, well, not directly Jesus is the answer to that, but like faith community and church and that sort of stuff. That's the next step in towards that. Yeah. And got her along to that. And that's probably planted a seed of faith for her to be able to sort of lean into faith and maybe ask some more questions about that as well.
Yeah. Because she shared with me that she really started to develop these more conservative values. Right. And she was like, it feels like that's so countercultural to the people that I'm hanging out with and the groups that I'm around or the guys that I'm meeting. And I'm like, there's a whole community of people who also value these things. Yeah. And we've had lots of chats around. She's like, well, I feel so like weird because it doesn't feel authentic when I'm there saying the prayer, all these things. And I'm like, well, maybe there's a reason why you have these types of values. Like, have you thought about that?
Oh, so it's actually led to like, not just her coming to church just to find a guy, but then she's experiencing that environment and her curiosity is obviously, it's touching on her curiosities. And so you've been able to have like more conversations.
We definitely have had more conversations about it. She still feels a little bit like it doesn't feel 100% genuine because, you know what I mean? There's still this like, like severance between her values and then this other spiritual thing. So that link has been difficult to try to.
Sure.
But I think that's where God comes in.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily my job to do that.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
For sure.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I think like that's a great example of it. And I think like it's not just that particular moment, but like for people that are listening, like everyone that you talk to, the people that are in your world, everyone is walking out stuff every day, stuff that's got to do with family, with health, with job, career, hobbies, whatever it might be. And there are challenges and needs that they're experiencing in each of these different areas. And those challenges and needs actually uncover something that Jesus can be meeting in their hearts. And I think what we can do as Christians who are on the Great Commission is to be able to, through the process of conversation, is help identify what those needs are in the hearts of people, and then help people understand how the gospel is the answer to those needs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Definitely.
We were workshopping some of these, Sam, just as some examples, right? Because we want to be really practical. And so for family, you know, it could be starting with just some simple questions like, how's your family doing? Or do you have siblings? Just to kind of get a context of like, all right, who's in their family? Yeah. But then like to go deeper, it could be questions like, hey, you know, were there values that your family had that was instilled in you? Or like, are there challenges in your family relationships and how you're navigating those? Like, do you have the same values as your family? Do you have different values? And then, you know, to go even deeper at a faith level, it's like, well, maybe how has your family shaped your perspective on faith or spirituality? And so there's sort of those levels of questions, and I really like it because it's not just like you have to jump straight in, like you were saying, Molly, like, do you believe in God? Like, you know, all of this stuff. It's just sort of this easing in, and it's not, I don't think it's like cornering. I think it's just trying to show people that faith is integrated into everyday life and it has an impact on everything.
100%. Yeah. I think another example of that is like if we're speaking about, say, health and well-being and maybe even mental health and just checking in to see how someone's going. Yeah. You could start with like, literally, how are you going? How are you feeling lately? And then through the process of that conversation, maybe just trying to determine what, like, you're asking questions like, what keeps you grounded when life feels overwhelming? Like, what are the things that give you hope when things feel a little chaotic? I think those sorts of questions can uncover the deeper needs in people's hearts.
Especially like mental health wise, right? Like it's just 100%. Like, how do you, like, you know, if they're going through a hard time, it's like how are you navigating this, or how do you navigate this? Yeah.
And I think that is like, obviously you're uncovering a pretty crucial need in somebody's life when it comes to mental health. And as a person of faith, I truly believe that faith and prayer and connecting with God is a great way to maintain a healthy, you know, mental health. And so questions like, you know, when people are unpacking some of the things they're walking through, you could literally in that moment just talk about, hey, have you ever tried to pray and try to pray for peace and pray for balance in your life? And if you have tried to pray for that, how did it go? Tell me about that. That's a great way to sort of open the door to faith a little bit more as well.
Yeah. I had a cool story where...
Have you ever wanted to share your faith but felt unsure of what to say? Maybe you've hesitated, wondering if you'll have the right words or even if the conversation might be awkward. Well, that's where the yesHEis app comes in. The yesHEis app helps you to share your faith with confidence, and it's packed with practical tools and resources to help make sharing Jesus a natural part of everyday life. When you step out and share your faith, you can even log your actions and see them light up a world map alongside others around the world that are sharing their faith too. So if you're looking for a simple way to step out and make a difference, download the yesHEis app today. It's free, it's simple, and will encourage you to share Jesus with confidence. Now, back to the show.
Someone from my aerial class, I just told her that I was going to church, and then she reached out to me and shared that she was going through a really hard time and just asked if she could come to church with me.
Yeah.
And she said that all the Christians that she knows are always so happy
Oh, great.
and they just have this air about them that she just got curious about that.
Love
Yeah,
it.
right.
So
That's why she was like, oh, maybe that's connected to church. And she just wanted to.
it was just she wanted to explore what that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
So, and even I was like, to be totally transparent, I was a little bit nervous about telling her. She was like, oh, what are you doing Sunday? And I was like, oh, I'm going to church. And she was like, I was a little bit nervous to tell her that.
Yeah.
I remember being like, and then she's like, can I go to church with you? Actually, I've really been
Wow.
struggling lately. And
That's awesome.
I'm just like, yeah, all the
Not
Christians
that
I
she's
know
struggling,
are
but
so,
that she invited herself.
they're all so happy. And like, I want to know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's really
I
cool.
know.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes like being that example
Yes.
too, then when people have needs, they're like, why do they have what
Yeah.
I'm seeking?
Yeah.
And be like, it's not me, bro.
It's all Jesus.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
great.
it's so good. It's
That's
really
awesome.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thing that we could sort of touch on quickly as well, like maybe even on an even deeper level when people are talking about challenge and loss and walking through that sort of thing. When you're talking to someone about that, you could say, how have you been handling this, or how are you going with this? How is it making you feel? And then on a similar vein as before, how do you find strength in difficult times like this? What's the thing that keeps you going? And then if you wanted to go even deeper on that kind of topic of conversation, you could ask, have you ever leaned on faith or spirituality to get through challenges or loss? And that might even open the door for you to be able to share your own faith story about how, hope in Jesus and faith has been able to help you navigate loss and challenges and that sorts of thing in the past as well. And so I think sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just reflecting on the beauty of like none of this, and kind of like we were saying before, it's not just going for the jugular. It's just thinking, okay, if this person, it's determining someone's need through good questions.
Yeah.
And I just love Jesus was such a great example of asking questions. He obviously had massive convictions and he is the truth.
Yeah.
But even though he was the truth, he asked questions because he's wanting to find out, he's wanting to be relational and that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the key takeaway today is that every person has a need and every need can be met. Every core need that a human being has can be met by Jesus. The needs that are felt within our soul. And so our job is to be able to help uncover what are those needs. Even through the process of, day-to-day conversations, we can help sort of find out what those needs are and then help people to see how Jesus meets those needs. So think about people that are in your world this week. Who is one person in your world that you go a little bit deeper with this week and help connect Jesus to the needs that they're walking through right now? So that's your challenge this week. Thanks for listening. We'll catch
Thanks,
you.
Molly, for being on the pod.
So good.
Thanks for having me.
We'll catch you next week. See ya.